Welcome to Flashback, a recap of some stories that made headlines during the week. We begin on Monday when the former governor of Kaduna State, El-Rufai, spent the night in the custody of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission after appearing at the commission's headquarters. He honored the EFCC's invitation following controversy over an incident at the Abuja airport where his passport was seized. And also on the same day, the Department of State Services filed a 3-count charge of alleged cybercrime against him. According to the charge sheet, El-Rufai allegedly admitted during a February 13 interview on a private television station to unlawfully intercepting the phone communications of the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu. He's further accused of using technical equipment to compromise public safety and national security, action said to have instilled apprehension among Nigerians. The alleged offences are said to be contrary to the Section 27, subsection B of the Cybercrimes Prohibition Prevention Amendment Act. And that same Monday, reactions continue to trail the appearance of former Kaduna State Governor El-Rufai at the headquarters. The mega national movement for good governance described his prosecution as a constitutional matter that should not be politicized, insisting the issue is about accountability and public trust. The group also noted that some former appointees of the Kaduna State government are already under investigation, urging anti-graft agencies to conduct their probes transparently.
We, the mega movement, call on the relevant anti-graft agency, particularly the Economic and Financial Crime Commission and the Independent Corrupt Practice Commission, to do the needful by diligently and transparently continue their investigation in accordance with the constitutional provision.
But I can assure you that as far as the EFCC is concerned, the right thing will be done, our processes and procedures will be followed, and Nigerians will see that we have actually acquitted ourselves very well concerning this issue.
And on Tuesday, the Senate moved to avert a potential clash between the 2027 general election and the holy month of Ramadan by rescinding its earlier passage of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill and returning it for fresh review. At the center of this reconsideration is Clause 28, which proposes reducing the statutory notice period for elections from 360 days to 300 days, granting the Independent National Electoral Commission greater flexibility in adjusting its timetable.
Leading the debate under Order 1B of the Senate Standing Orders, the Senate leader announced the Chamber's decision to rescind its earlier passage of the Electoral Act 2022 Repeal and Reenactment Bill 2026 and recommit it to the Committee of the Whole for comprehensive reconsideration and necessary amendments. According to him, the review responds to concerns that elections scheduled during the Ramadan fasting period could affect voter turnout, logistics, and overall participation.
The primary reason for our having to reconvene today is for us to be able to further amend the relevant provisions of the electoral bill so that INEC will be in a position to review their timetable according to the request that they had made on us.
At the heart of the amendment is Clause 28, which reduces the election notice from 360 days to 300 days. The adjustment allows INEC to review and revise its timetable, a move that could see elections held earlier, possibly in January 2027. The decision followed a closed-door session and a division called by Senator Einaya Baribe, after which the motion was adopted.
So I'm calling for a division. Point of order by Senator Baribe, calling for a division on the provision of yes. He's calling for a division.
Voting records show 55 APC senators voted in support, alongside 2 opposition lawmakers, while 15 opposition senators voted against. Lawmakers also cited drafting inconsistencies across multiple clauses of the bill, prompting further legislative scrutiny.
And also on Tuesday, the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs confirmed the sighting of the Ramadan crescent in Nigeria. This announcement was made by the Sheikh of Borno, who serves as vice chairman of the NSCIA. With this declaration, Muslims across the country commenced the month-long Ramadan fast, observed with dawn to sunset abstinence, increased devotion, charity, and communal prayers. Meanwhile, on Wednesday, President Bola Tinubu signed the amended Electoral Act into law. The amendment follows months of intense debate, public scrutiny, and political disagreement over the conduct of elections, particularly the contentious issue of electronic transmission of results.
The signing ceremony at the presidential villa marks the end of a long and often contentious legislative journey aimed at reshaping Nigeria's electoral framework ahead of future polls. For President Bola Tinubu, the focus must remain on protecting voters and strengthening public confidence in elections. He insists that no Nigerian must be disenfranchised in the quest to modernize the system.
You manage the process to the extent there will be no confusion, no disenfranchisement of Nigerians, and we are all going to see democracy flourish.
The president acknowledged growing calls for technological deployment, but cautioned that elections ultimately depend on people and infrastructure readiness.
How technically are we today? How technically will we be tomorrow to answer the call of, either real time or no?
Central to the controversy is whether Nigeria is technologically prepared for seamless, real-time electronic transmission of election results nationwide. The new law attempts a compromise. Polling unit results will still be manually recorded and signed, but now must also be electronically transmitted and uploaded to a public viewing portal once network access becomes available.
That once election result leaves a polling unit, it will be tampered with or mutilated. That has been eliminated today. So we are satisfied that we have met the aspiration of Nigerians.
Lawmakers also highlight other key changes, including giving political party members greater say in candidate selection through direct primaries.
Now we have seen the wisdom to reduce it to 300 days. And this will inadvertently translate to holding the presidential and National Assembly elections in January 2027. And that will technically avoid conducting election during month of Ramadan of 2027.
With the amended Electoral Act now law, attention shifts to implementation and whether the reforms will translate into more credible elections and renewed public trust when Nigerians next head to the polls.
We flash back to Thursday in Rivers State when the impeachment threat against Governor Siminalayi Fubara and the Deputy Governor Ngozi Odo was officially withdrawn. The State House of Assembly pulled back the proceedings, marking a significant turn in the long-running standoff between the two arms of government.
Weeks after uncertainty over the fate of the administration, the coast now appears clear for the governor and his deputy to complete their tenure. The legislature's decision to step back from impeachment follows another round of intervention by President Bola Tinubu. All parties were reminded to honor earlier reconciliation agreements as a condition for lasting peace.
Members unanimously agreed to halt the impeachment process against the governor and deputy governor following the intervention of the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Mr. Speaker also highlighted the terms of the agreement. Number one, which is that all previous agreements entered with the House and the Governor will be kept by the Governor, the Deputy.
While the move is expected to ease political tensions in the state, lawmakers were quick to warn that any further breach of the 1999 Constitution would not be tolerated.
We also agreed that all infractions against the Constitution and laws of Rivers State will be remedied, and that the Governor and the Deputy Governor will not continue with any infringement on the Constitution and laws of Rivers State, amongst other matters agreed upon, which there will be no need to give further details. But what is important is that we have agreed to hold the impeachment process. Those in favor.
The House noted that as a sign of commitment to peace, both sides have also filed notices to withdraw all pending impeachment-related cases before the courts. Uche Okoro, TVC News, Port Harcourt.
And finally, in Flashback, the Department of State Services on Friday announced the arraignment of the former governor of Kaduna State, El-Rufai, on alleged cybercrime and breach of national security to hold on Wednesday, the 25th of February. Justice Joyce Abdulmalik of the Federal High Court fixed the date after the Chief Judge, Justice John Soho, assigned the case to her. The DSS filed a 3-count criminal charge against El-Rufai, accusing him of unlawfully wiretapping the telephone lines of the National Security Advisor, Nouri Bado, in breach of the Cybercrimes Prohibition Act 2024 and the Nigerian Communications Act 2003. Meanwhile, El-Rufai's legal team condemned the search of his Aso Drive residence by the ICPC, calling the action unlawful. The former governor spent a second night in ICPC custody on Thursday following his initial arrest early in the week.